Chosen ones, PPL finally realized how wise you are. Someone is regretting not believing you. Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Albert Einstein. As a chosen one, you've walked a path that many couldn't understand until now. The very wisdom they once dismissed is now what they seek. Those who doubted you, misunderstood you, or even ridiculed you are beginning to realize the depth of your insight. But the real question is, how will you use this newfound recognition? Will you let it validate your journey, or will you continue to walk your path with quiet confidence? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced this shift? Let's inspire each other to embrace our wisdom and keep shining our light. 1. People once dismissed you, but now they realize your wisdom. They dismissed you. They laughed at your words, ridiculed your insights, and disregarded your wisdom. You spoke with conviction, guided by a deep spiritual understanding, but they refused to listen. Now, time has revealed the truth. The very things you warned about, the very wisdom they rejected, have come to pass. And while they try to convince themselves that it's all just coincidence, deep down, they know you were right all along. Chosen ones have always been misunderstood. Their vision extends beyond the immediate, perceiving truths that others are blind to. When you shared your insights, they were met with skepticism. People mocked you, dismissing your words as mere speculation. But wisdom is like a seed planted in the right moment. It eventually bears fruit. Now, as reality aligns with what you foresaw, those who once doubted you are beginning to reflect. Regret lingers in the hearts of those who refuse to listen. Perhaps it was pride that kept them from acknowledging your wisdom. Or maybe they feared the truth you spoke. But as events unfold and confirm everything you once said, they can no longer ignore it. Some are now seeking your guidance, subtly watching from the shadows, hoping to understand what they once disregarded. Spiritual wisdom is not given to everyone, and that is why the chosen ones stand apart. Your ability to see beyond illusions, to perceive what others overlook, is a gift. It is not arrogance, nor is it a coincidence. It is the result of deep spiritual awareness, cultivated through life's trials and divine connection. And while the world may have tried to silence you, truth has a way of making itself known. There is power in patience. You did not force your wisdom upon them. You simply spoke your truth and allowed time to reveal what was hidden. Now, those who once dismissed you are waking up. They may not openly admit their mistakes, but their actions speak volumes. They are watching, learning, and slowly coming to terms with the reality they once refused to accept. This is a time of validation, not for ego, but for understanding. The chosen ones do not seek revenge or vindication. They continue to walk their spiritual path, offering wisdom to those who are ready to receive it. Remember, your gift is not meant to be wasted on those who refuse to see. Instead, it is meant for those who are prepared to embrace the truth and embark on their own journey of awakening. If you've ever been dismissed, mocked, or ignored only for time to reveal your wisdom, know that your insight was never in vain. The truth always rises. Comment below. My wisdom speaks for itself if you trust in your inner knowing and the power of divine timing. 2. The truth always reveals itself. Luke 8:17 says, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. This verse is a powerful reminder that truth has its own timing. It does not ask for permission, nor does it wait for validation. It simply reveals itself when the moment is right. And now, those who once ignored your wisdom can no longer deny its reality. For so long, you have carried deep insights, seeing beyond the surface while others dismissed you. Maybe they laughed, doubted, or even ridiculed your understanding. But now, as time unfolds, the very truths you spoke of the wisdom they once rejected are manifesting before their eyes. They are realizing that your words were not empty, your intuition was not misplaced, and your vision was never just imagination. Those who once questioned you now find themselves trapped in the undeniable proof of what you have always known. It is not that you sought to prove anyone wrong, nor did you need their approval. The path of a chosen one is not about validation from the outside world, but about staying true to the wisdom within. You have endured rejection, loneliness, and even moments of self-doubt, yet you remain steadfast. Spiritual awakening is not an easy journey. It requires strength, patience, and a deep trust in divine timing. The lessons you shared, the warnings you gave, and the wisdom you carried were never meant to be immediately accepted by everyone. Instead, they were seeds planted in the minds of those around you, waiting for the right conditions to grow. Now, as people witness the unfolding of events, they regret not listening to you sooner. Some may apologize, while others stay silent, unable to admit their mistakes. But you do not need their words to validate your truth. The greatest confirmation comes not from their regret, but from knowing that you stood firm in your purpose. You were chosen for a reason to see, to understand, and to guide. The journey may have been isolating at times, but the universe was always aligning things in your favor. So, what does this mean for you now? It is a reminder that your wisdom is a gift. Never dim your light just because others do not understand it yet. Stay true to your spiritual path and continue sharing your insights, whether they are accepted immediately or not. Some will awaken through your words, others through their experiences, but the truth will always rise. Let go of resentment. For those who once doubted you are now facing their own lessons. And as they finally recognize the wisdom you carried all along, step forward with grace, knowing that your purpose remains the same: to illuminate, to inspire, and to guide those who are ready. Are you ready to embrace the power of truth? If so, comment below. Truth always prevails, to affirm your trust in divine revelation. Let the light of truth guide your path. 3. Their regret is heavy. You have walked a path that few understand, a journey of spiritual growth, deep wisdom, and unwavering faith. And yet, along the way, you have faced skepticism, mockery, and dismissal. They laughed at your insights, ridiculed your beliefs, and rejected your truth. But now, as time unfolds, the truth becomes undeniable. They are beginning to see what you saw all along. Think back to those moments when people doubted you. They thought your words were just fantasies, your warnings unnecessary, and your spiritual awareness irrelevant. You may have been cast aside, ignored, or even made to feel like an outsider. But the truth has a way of revealing itself in time. As their lives take unexpected turns, failed careers, broken relationships, shattered illusions, they are forced to confront the reality they once refused to acknowledge. There's a famous saying by Mahatma Gandhi: "First they ignore you, Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. Then you win. That is exactly what is happening now. Those who dismissed you are now facing the consequences of their choices. The illusions they once clung to are crumbling before their eyes. What once seemed solid is now fragile, and the truth they denied is standing tall before them. But here's the beauty of being a chosen one. You don't even need to say, "I told you so." The universe is speaking for you. Life is the ultimate teacher, and those who doubted you are now sitting in the very lessons you tried to warn them about. They feel it deep in their souls, the regret, the longing, the realization that you were never wrong. And while their egos may not allow them to admit it out loud, their hearts know the truth. You have always been guided by a higher wisdom. Your spiritual awareness gave you clarity when others were lost in confusion. You saw beyond the material world, beyond illusions, beyond what was immediately visible. And while it may have been painful to watch people reject what you knew was right, you never stopped walking your path. You stayed true to your purpose, and now the world is catching up to your understanding. This is not a moment for revenge or bitterness. It is a moment for grace, a moment for you to stand firm in your wisdom, not with arrogance, but with deep, quiet confidence. You were never seeking validation from them. You already had the truth within you. And now, as they begin to see what you saw, let your heart remain open. Because the greatest victory is not proving them wrong, but inspiring them to seek the light for themselves. Remember what Rumi said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Their struggles, their regrets, their moments of realization, these are the cracks through which wisdom will enter. Some will come back, seeking your guidance. Others will watch from a distance, learning in silence. And a few may still resist, but that is not your concern. Your only task is to continue shining, continue growing, and continue walking the divine path set before you. Have you ever witnessed someone who once doubted you, now facing the weight of their regrets? If so, share your thoughts in the comments so others can reflect and learn. If not, comment, "I see it now," to acknowledge the power of transformation and karma at work. 4. They ignored the warnings. Now they're suffering. The same people who once ignored your insights or doubted your wisdom are beginning to see the truth, and for some, regret has set in. There was a time when people around you were mesmerized by the flashy, the loud, and the seemingly powerful. They admired those who spoke with confidence, even when their words lacked truth. They followed leaders, influencers, or even friends who knew how to manipulate emotions but lacked real integrity. You, however, always had the gift of discernment. You could see through the illusions, sensing when something wasn't right, even when others were blinded by appearances. While they were captivated by deception, you remained anchored in spiritual wisdom. But at that time, few valued your insight. Many dismissed your warnings, thinking you were just being skeptical, overly cautious, or even jealous. They couldn't see that you were trying to guide them away from destruction. But illusions can only last for so long. Everything they placed their trust in status, false promises, and temporary pleasures is now unraveling before their eyes. The very people they admired have let them down. The so-called success they chased turned out to be hollow. The relationships they thought were built on trust are revealing their cracks. And in the midst of all this chaos, they now see you differently. The words you once spoke, the advice you once gave, the intuition you always had, it all makes sense now. They realize that you were not trying to control or criticize them. You were simply seeing what they could not. For some, this realization brings deep regret. They wish they had listened, that they had valued your wisdom when they had the chance. While their world shakes, you stand firm. Not because you are immune to hardship, but because you prepared. You saw this coming, not in a way that makes you arrogant, but in a way that proves the depth of your spiritual insight. While others built their lives on shifting sands, you chose to root yourself in truth. And now, the same people who once overlooked you may seek your guidance. Some will come with humility, ready to learn. Others may struggle with their pride, unwilling to admit they were wrong. But whether they acknowledge it or not, they see the difference. They see the strength of someone who chose spiritual wisdom over temporary validation. Being a chosen one means carrying wisdom that is not always recognized in the moment. It means seeing beyond the surface and understanding deeper truths. It also means walking a lonely path at times, as many will only realize your value after experiencing the consequences of their choices. But do not hold bitterness in your heart. Instead, continue to walk in your truth, knowing that spiritual wisdom is not about proving others wrong, but about staying aligned with what is right. Some will come back with open hearts, ready to listen. Others may never admit their mistake, but deep down, they know. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on recognizing deception, sharpening your discernment, and staying ahead while others fall behind. 5. They now watch you in silence. They hesitate to say your name, avoiding conversations where you are mentioned. They pretend as if nothing happened, as if they never wronged you, yet their actions tell a different story. Secretly, they listen to your words, reread your messages, and observe your every move. They watch in silence, realizing what they once ignored, the depth of your wisdom, the clarity of your vision, and the truth you carried long before they were ready to see it. The very ones who doubted you are now regretting their disbelief. Their pride keeps them from admitting it, but deep inside, they know they were wrong. You stood firm when no one believed in you, when the world tried to convince you that you were mistaken. But your spiritual awakening allowed you to see beyond illusions, to understand truths that others were not yet ready to grasp. Now, as the fog of ignorance lifts, they begin to see what you always knew. They recall the times you warned them, the wisdom you shared, and the lessons you tried to teach. The same knowledge they rejected now haunts them because they realize you were speaking from a place of divine insight. This is what happens when a chosen one walks the path of truth. People resist it at first, fearing what they do not understand. They mock what threatens their comfortable illusions. But time has a way of revealing the truth. The seeds you planted in their minds have started to grow. They are beginning to connect the dots, to see the wisdom they once ignored. Some will try to reconnect with you, seeking guidance, while others will suffer in silence, ashamed of their past doubts. Either way, their hearts cannot escape the truth they once had the opportunity to learn from you, and they let it slip away. But you do not seek their validation. You never needed their approval to walk in your purpose. You were chosen for a reason, and your journey was never meant to be understood by everyone. The world often misunderstands those who are ahead of their time. But that is the nature of spiritual awakening. You see beyond the veil, while others are still trapped in the illusion. The regret of those who doubted you is not your burden to carry. Your role is to keep shining, keep growing, and keep sharing your wisdom. Let their regret be their teacher. So, if you ever feel alone on this path, remember this. The world may not always recognize a chosen one in the moment, but in time, the truth always reveals itself. And when it does, those who doubted will wish they had listened. Keep walking your path with confidence, knowing that your wisdom is a gift. Stay true to your calling, and never dim your light for those who refuse to see. Do you feel their silent presence? If you do, declare it boldly in the comments. They watch in silence, but I rise in power. 6. They won't admit it, but they are learning from you. The same ones who mocked your mindset, calling you too deep or too different, are now imitating your way of thinking. It's almost ironic, isn't it? When you first shared your insights, they looked at you as if you were speaking a foreign language. But now, the world is catching up. At one point, your spiritual wisdom was something they rejected. Your words seemed too unconventional, too ahead of their time. They called you delusional, too idealistic, or even strange. But fast forward to today, and the very thoughts they ridiculed are now being praised by experts, leaders, and influencers. The same spiritual truths they dismissed are now being taught in seminars, quoted in books, and shared on social media as profound revelations. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." And you, dear chosen one, have done just that. You stayed true to your wisdom, even when no one believed in you. Now, those same people are realizing that what you spoke was the truth all along. Perhaps the most fascinating part is that they now act as if they always understood. They present your insights as if they were theirs, conveniently forgetting the days they doubted you. But deep down, they know. They remember who first planted the seed of wisdom that they now embrace. It's a cycle that many spiritually awakened souls experience. The chosen ones, the visionaries, the deep thinkers, you all share a similar journey. The world resists what it does not understand, and people fear what challenges their limited perspectives. But eventually, truth has a way of making itself known. First, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. Then you win. These words, often attributed to Mahatma Gandhi, resonate deeply with your journey. This moment in your life is not an accident. Everything happens according to divine timing. The world wasn't ready when you first spoke your truth, but that doesn't mean your wisdom was ever wrong. It was simply ahead of its time. Now, as more people awaken spiritually, they begin to see what you've seen all along. They realize that wisdom isn't just about knowledge. It's about understanding, experience, and spiritual depth. What once seemed radical is now recognized as insight. It's easy to feel frustrated or even betrayed. After all, you endured the ridicule, the isolation, the doubt. Now the same people who rejected you want to learn from you. But instead of bitterness, take this as confirmation. You were never wrong. You were just ahead. Be proud that you stayed true to your spiritual path despite opposition. Let this be a reminder that your wisdom is a gift. And while some may take longer to recognize it, Those who are truly meant to hear your message will find you when the time is right. Chosen ones, your wisdom is not meant for everyone. But for those who are ready, it will be life-changing. Keep speaking, keep believing, and keep growing. The world may be late in realizing your value, but the truth always finds its way. And when it does, you will be standing firm, knowing that you never needed their validation in the first place. If this message resonates with you, drop a comment of truth. I know my wisdom speaks louder than their doubts. My growth inspires, even when they won't admit it. Keep shining your light and walking in your purpose. 7. They thought you would fail, but you thrived. They assumed you needed their validation to move forward, but they were wrong. You have always walked a different path, guided by spiritual wisdom rather than the fleeting opinions of others. Now, as they struggle with their own choices, they are beginning to realize what they failed to see before. You were never just another face in the crowd. You were chosen. People have placed limitations on you, convincing themselves that their opinions shaped your destiny. They expected you to seek their validation, to shrink yourself just to fit into their narrow perception of success. But true wisdom does not require approval. It thrives in solitude, in deep reflection, and in unwavering faith. While they waited for you to conform, you did something they never expected. You broke free. You chose self-discovery over external validation. Instead of looking to them for direction, you trusted the spiritual path unfolding before you. The strength they once doubted in you has now become undeniable, leaving them questioning their own misjudgments. Some people secretly hoped you would fail. They stood on the sidelines, expecting to see you stumble under the weight of their doubt. They underestimated the power of resilience, underestimating you. But what they failed to realize is that being chosen comes with divine strength. While they saw obstacles as barriers, you saw them as stepping stones. Every setback you faced only deepened your wisdom, making you more unshakable. And as they waited for your downfall, you soared past them, ascending to new heights they never imagined possible. Life has a way of humbling those who cast judgment too soon. The same people who doubted you are now watching in disbelief as you rise, not because of them, but despite them. Karma has an undeniable rhythm, and the universe always restores balance. Those who once looked down on you now find themselves lost, seeking answers in the very places they once dismissed. While they struggle with the consequences of their choices, you stand firm, grounded in the spiritual wisdom you have cultivated. The tables have turned. Now, they look at you with regret, wishing they had believed in you when they had the chance. But you no longer seek their acknowledgement because you have something far greater: self-mastery, inner peace, and divine guidance. What once seemed like a disadvantage has become your greatest strength. The rejection you faced was merely redirection. The loneliness you endured was preparation. Every hardship, every moment of being misunderstood was shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. You were never meant to blend in. You were always meant to stand out. Let this be a reminder to anyone who has ever been doubted: your value doesn't decrease because someone else fails to see it. Keep moving forward, keep trusting in your spiritual journey, and let your success speak louder than their doubts ever did. Stay connected with our empowering community by subscribing to our channel. Here, We share stories of resilience, transformation, and the unstoppable power within you. Remember, you don't need anyone's approval to thrive. You were born to rise, shine, and succeed. Keep believing in yourself and let your journey inspire others. 8. They are forced to acknowledge the truth. Many people struggle to admit they were wrong, not because they don't see the truth, but because their pride won't let them. They would rather suffer in silence than acknowledge that they misjudged you. Yet deep down, they know they failed to recognize your wisdom when it mattered most. As you walk further along your path of spiritual awakening, you'll notice that the very people who once doubted you are now watching you closely. They may not say it outright, but their actions reveal a quiet shift. They seek your insights, trying to understand what makes you different. They remember the moments when you spoke with clarity and conviction, offering them guidance they ignored. Now, they're realizing that if they had truly listened, they could have avoided many of the struggles they face today. For the chosen ones, this is nothing new. You have always seen beyond the surface, sensing truths that others dismissed. You have walked through storms that would have broken the average person, yet you emerged stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose. Your journey was never about proving yourself to anyone. It was about becoming the highest version of yourself, regardless of who believed in you. The irony is that now, after all the ridicule, rejection, and skepticism, people are finally recognizing the depth of your wisdom. The same ones who turned away from you are quietly observing, reflecting on the choices they made. Some will carry their regret in silence, too ashamed to admit they were wrong. Others will humble themselves, hoping to reconnect, hoping to learn what they once dismissed. But here's the truth. Your path isn't about seeking validation. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. A spiritual awakening sets you apart, not because you are better, but because you are willing to see and embrace reality while others cling to illusion. You were called to break free from patterns that keep people trapped in cycles of confusion and limitation. Your wisdom isn't meant to be hoarded. It is meant to uplift, to enlighten, and to help those who are ready. The regret others feel is not your burden to carry. It is their lesson to learn. And whether they acknowledge it or not, your presence has already impacted their lives in ways they might not even fully grasp yet. So, stay true to your path. Never shrink yourself to fit into the expectations of those who once doubted you. Let your wisdom be a light for those who are willing to receive it, and have the discernment to recognize when someone is only returning out of guilt rather than genuine growth. Your journey isn't about who regrets not believing in you. It's about how you continue to evolve, inspire, and live in alignment with your truth. The chosen ones will always stand out. And while some may only realize your worth too late, what truly matters is that you never forget it. If this message resonates with you, comment, "I see it now," to affirm the truth, or "not convinced" if you see it differently. Let's discuss in the comments. 9. You don't need their recognition. You never needed validation, because deep down, you always knew the truth. The wisdom within you has always been your guiding light, shining even when others doubted or dismissed you. You have walked a path that few could understand, carrying an inner knowing that set you apart. People questioned your insights, ignored your advice, and even ridiculed your beliefs. But now, the same individuals who once dismissed you are beginning to realize just how wise you truly are. The truth does not require approval. It stands firm on its own. As Mark Twain once said, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes." But the truth always prevails. You spoke from a place of deep spiritual wisdom, yet many could not grasp it at the time. Now, as life unfolds, they see that your words carried weight, and the warnings you gave were not baseless. They regret not believing you, not heeding your advice, and not recognizing the gift of insight you offered. You do not dwell on their regrets because you have already moved forward. You understand that spiritual growth requires leaving behind those who are not yet ready to awaken. Their lessons are theirs to learn. You are not here to save everyone, nor are you responsible for their choices. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. You have always been that teacher, but many were not ready to listen. Now, they face the consequences of their disbelief, and they can no longer ignore the reality of what you once tried to share. You are already ahead, walking a path of higher consciousness. You have been tested, doubted, and underestimated, yet you remain unshaken. They will never forget that you were right, not because you need their recognition, but because the truth has revealed itself in undeniable ways. Your spiritual journey has been one of resilience, wisdom, and unwavering faith. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Your wisdom placed you steps ahead, and now the world sees it. For those who doubted you, regret becomes their most painful lesson. They now wish they had listened, that they had taken your words to heart. But while they dwell on what could have been, you continue moving forward, embracing your purpose with confidence. Regret has its own purpose. It awakens people to the truth they once refused to see. And perhaps, through their regret, they will finally begin their own spiritual awakening. Chosen one, never dim your light to make others comfortable. Your wisdom is a gift, and not everyone will appreciate it in the moment. Keep trusting yourself, keep speaking truth, and keep walking your path. The ones who are meant to see will eventually open their eyes. And for those who refuse to believe, the weight of their regret is theirs to carry. You were never wrong. You were always ahead. And now, they finally see. 10. The power of your presence. You have always carried a deep sense of wisdom within you, but many around you failed to see it. Instead of embracing your insights, they dismissed your words, laughed at your convictions, and even ridiculed your beliefs. But time has a way of revealing the truth. And now, as life unfolds, those same individuals who once doubted you are beginning to recognize the depth of your spiritual wisdom. You have always stood apart, not because you sought attention, but because your energy is different. You radiate a presence that cannot be ignored, even by those who once turned their backs on you. They may not openly acknowledge your influence, but deep down, they feel it. Whether it is in moments of struggle or when they seek clarity, they find themselves thinking about your words, recalling the wisdom you shared long before they were ready to accept it. Your presence lingers in their thoughts, a silent force that continues to guide them even in your absence. True wisdom is not just about speaking profound words. It is about living them, and that is exactly what you have done. While others merely talked, you walked the path. You embodied the lessons you shared, demonstrating through action what it means to live with spiritual depth and understanding. Those who once dismissed you as an idealist or dreamer now see that you were never just talking, you were leading the way. They are beginning to grasp that your insights were not empty words, but guiding principles that could have saved them from their struggles had they chosen to listen earlier. Truth has a way of making its presence known, no matter how much people try to ignore it. The words you spoke, the lessons you lived, and the love you showed were never in vain. Though they once mocked you, ridiculed your beliefs, or considered you too different, life has a way of opening their eyes. Now, they find themselves drawn back to the very wisdom they once rejected. Perhaps they have faced hardships that forced them to seek answers, or maybe they simply matured enough to understand what you were trying to teach all along. Regardless of the reason, the truth you shared has remained with them, and now they finally see its value. There is always a moment of realization and awakening where people look back and regret not listening to the one who tried to show them the way. Someone who once ignored your guidance, brushed off your words, or even distanced themselves from you, now carries a heavy burden of regret. They wish they had believed in you sooner, that they had understood the significance of what you were offering. Life has shown them that not everyone possesses the depth of wisdom and clarity that you do. They now recognize that your spiritual insight was never meant to control or manipulate, but rather to uplift and guide. And while they cannot turn back time, they now seek the very knowledge they once rejected. The journey of a chosen one is often lonely, but it is never in vain. Your wisdom, your presence, and your truth are seeds planted in the hearts of those around you. Some may take years to grow, while others may bloom unexpectedly. Keep walking your path, keep shining your light, and never doubt the impact you are making. The world may not always recognize wisdom immediately, but eventually, even the most resistant will see the truth. And when they do, they will remember you as the one who stood firm, the one who never wavered, and the one whose wisdom changed their lives in ways they never anticipated. To affirm the power of your presence, declare your truth. Comment below, "My presence speaks," to acknowledge your journey and inspire others to embrace their own silent influence. As a chosen one, your wisdom shines through, and people are finally starting to see the truth. While some may regret not believing in you sooner, your journey is not about proving them wrong. It's about stepping into your divine purpose with confidence. Keep moving forward, stay true to yourself, and let your light continue to inspire. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. And be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss our powerful upcoming videos. Keep shining, and I'll see you in the next one. Are you an intuitive introvert? Know the signs INFJ and INTJ. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. Have you ever felt like you see the world differently, sensing things beyond the surface, yet preferring the quiet solitude of your own thoughts? If so, you might be an intuitive introvert, one of the rarest and most insightful personality types. In today's video on spiritual wisdom, we'll explore the signs of INFJ and INTJ personalities, uncovering their deep connection to intuition and spiritual growth. Are you one of them? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's embark on this journey of self-discovery together. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on personal transformation. 1. Unique perception of reality. A recent survey found that over 80% of respondents agreed or strongly agreed that they often perceive hidden patterns, emotions, and unspoken messages before others do. Many participants express that their deep, abstract way of thinking makes them feel disconnected from social norms. One respondent shared, "I always notice subtle changes in people's behavior before they say anything. It makes me feel like I'm living in a different reality than others." This profound sensitivity aligns with Carl Jung's description of intuitive introverts, people who unconsciously detect underlying meanings and connections in everyday interactions. Their perception extends beyond what is said, allowing them to pick up on subtle shifts in energy, tone, and even body language. While this ability can be a gift, it often makes intuitive introverts feel like outsiders in a world that values tangible facts over unseen insights. Because intuitive introverts process information at a deeper level, they often feel out of sync with mainstream society. While many people focus on surface-level conversations, intuitive introverts crave depth and meaning. Small talk can feel exhausting, and social interactions may seem shallow compared to the vast inner world they experience daily. INFJs and INTJs, in particular, are known for their introspection and ability to see potential outcomes before they unfold. This forward-thinking nature can make them appear detached or even distant, as they are frequently lost in thought, analyzing complex ideas and envisioning future possibilities. Unfortunately, this can create a sense of loneliness, as their unique way of thinking is not always understood or appreciated by those around them. Despite the challenges, being an intuitive introvert comes with profound spiritual advantages. The ability to see beyond the material world allows for deep self-reflection, making these individuals naturally drawn to philosophy, spirituality, and personal growth. They are often seekers of truth, searching for higher meaning in life and striving to understand the mysteries of existence. This introspective nature enables them to form a deep connection with their inner wisdom, guiding them towards self-awareness and enlightenment. Many intuitive introverts feel a strong sense of purpose, believing that their insights and knowledge should be used to help others navigate life's challenges. This aligns with the concept of spiritual awakening, where one's heightened perception becomes a tool for transformation. Rather than seeing their deep perception as a burden, intuitive introverts can learn to embrace their gift by surrounding themselves with like-minded individuals who appreciate their depth. Engaging in meaningful conversations, pursuing creative outlets, and dedicating time to spiritual practices can help nurture their unique strengths. By understanding and accepting their intuitive nature, INFJs and INTJs can turn their insights into a powerful force for positive change. Whether through writing, mentoring, or other forms of expression, intuitive introverts have the ability to inspire and uplift those around them. Their deep understanding of human nature and the unseen world makes them invaluable guides on the journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Comment below, "I embrace my intuitive power," if you resonate with the deep perception of an intuitive introvert. 2. Processing information differently. Many intuitive introverts particularly those with INFJ and INTJ personality types, often find it challenging to express their thoughts clearly. This isn't because they lack intelligence or understanding, but rather because their minds operate on multiple layers at once, processing information in a deeply complex and non-linear way. A recent study found that over 76% of intuitive introverts struggle to put their thoughts into words, not because they don't know what they want to say, but because their ideas come together in an abstract and multi-dimensional way. One participant, a 25-year-old, shared, "Sometimes I just know something, but explaining it in words is difficult. It's frustrating because people often don't understand what I'm trying to say." This feeling of being misunderstood is common among intuitive introverts. Unlike most people who think in a linear, step-by-step fashion, intuitive introverts often see the bigger picture first, grasping insights and connections before they can articulate how they arrived at them. This unique way of thinking makes them excellent at recognizing patterns, predicting outcomes, and sensing hidden truths. However, it can also lead to difficulties in traditional conversations, where others expect direct, logical explanations. This struggle can be particularly evident in deep discussions. Intuitive introverts may pause frequently, searching for the right words, or they may end up simplifying their thoughts to be understood, which can feel unsatisfying. They might even remain silent rather than attempt to explain ideas that seem obvious to them but feel impossible to communicate clearly. This can create a sense of loneliness or isolation, making them feel as though no one truly understands the depth of their insights. However, this unique way of thinking is also a powerful gift. It is deeply tied to spiritual awakening, as intuitive introverts often experience profound moments of inner knowing. They can sense the underlying truths of life, even if they can't always articulate them. This heightened awareness allows them to navigate the world with a deep sense of wisdom and purpose. Instead of feeling frustrated by their struggles with verbal expression, they can learn to embrace alternative ways of communicating, such as writing, art, or even deep one-on-one conversations with those who truly resonate with their energy. If you find yourself identifying with this experience, remember that your way of thinking is not a weakness, but a rare and valuable strength. Your ability to perceive the unseen, understand emotions on a profound level, and connect ideas in ways others cannot is a gift. Instead of focusing on how others may struggle to understand you, lean into the ways you naturally communicate best. Surround yourself with people who appreciate your depth and seek out spaces where your insights are valued. Your unique mind has the potential to bring immense wisdom and transformation, not just to yourself, but to the world around you. 3. Perception of people. Studies show that an astonishing 89% of intuitive individuals can perceive emotions and intentions long before they are verbally expressed. It's as if they have a built-in radar, a spiritual sensitivity that allows them to pick up on the hidden energies around them. In addition, 71% of intuitive introverts report that they can quickly detect dishonesty or inauthenticity. This heightened awareness goes beyond just observing body language. It's about feeling the truth beneath the surface. One individual shared their experience, saying, "I can tell when someone is faking a smile or suppressing their true feelings. It's not just about their words, it's in their energy, their micro expressions, the way they hesitate before speaking. It's like I can hear the emotions they're not saying out loud. The ability to read emotions and intentions comes with a challenge absorbing too much of other people's energy. Imagine walking through a crowded place and feeling the weight of every unspoken sorrow, every forced laugh, and every concealed frustration. It's no wonder that intuitive introverts often find social interactions exhausting. They don't just listen to words, they absorb emotions. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, once said, "Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." This speaks to the intuitive introvert's journey, constantly deciphering not only the world around them, but also the vast universe within. There is something deeply spiritual about intuition. Many ancient philosophies and spiritual traditions recognize the power of inner knowing. Some call it a sixth sense, while others describe it as a heightened awareness or even divine guidance. The Bible, for instance, speaks of discernment as a gift. The wisdom of the prudent is to discern his way, but the folly of fools is deceiving. Proverbs 14:8. For intuitive introverts, this discernment feels like a sacred connection to the unseen. They don't rely solely on logic, but on a combination of intellect, emotion, and spiritual insight. This is why they often feel drawn to deep philosophical conversations, spiritual teachings, and self-reflection. They seek truth, not just in words, but in the energy that surrounds them. With great perception comes great responsibility. If you constantly absorb the emotions of others, it's essential to protect your energy. Here are some powerful strategies. Set energetic boundaries. Imagine a protective shield around you before entering crowded or emotionally intense spaces. This visualization can help prevent emotional exhaustion. Practice solitude. Time alone isn't a luxury for intuitive introverts. It's a necessity. Solitude allows them to recharge, reflect, and realign with their own spiritual energy. Trust your intuition. Don't second-guess your inner knowing. If something feels off, it probably is. Your intuition is one of your greatest gifts. Engage in spiritual practices. Whether through meditation, prayer, journaling, or spending time in nature, nurturing your spiritual self helps strengthen your inner wisdom. Surround yourself with authenticity. Being around genuine, high-vibrational individuals can be incredibly refreshing for intuitive introverts. Seek out those who respect and honor your sensitivity. Being an intuitive introvert is not a weakness. It's a profound gift. The world needs more people who can see beyond the surface, who can sense truth in a world often clouded by illusion. Albert Einstein once said, "The only real valuable thing is intuition." Your ability to perceive beyond words, to understand the emotions left unspoken, and to connect with deeper truths makes you a rare and powerful soul. Embrace this gift, nurture it, and use it to bring light and wisdom to those around you. So, the next time you feel an emotion before it's expressed, or sense an unspoken truth, know that you are not imagining things. You are simply in tune with something greater, a spiritual force guiding you, whispering wisdom into your soul. Do you resonate with this? If you do, affirm it in the comments. I trust my intuition and see beyond words. 4. Sensitivity to environments and energy. A significant percentage of people, nearly 70% of those surveyed, report being affected by the energy of their surroundings and the people within them. This means that for intuitive introverts, daily interactions are not just social exchanges, but deeply felt experiences that can uplift or deplete their inner peace. One individual shared their experience. When I walk into a room, I immediately sense if there's tension or negativity. If the energy feels heavy, I just want to leave. For intuitive introverts, this ability to read energy is both a strength and a challenge. It allows them to understand situations beyond surface-level interactions, making them incredibly perceptive in personal and professional relationships. However, it also means they must be mindful of the environments they expose themselves to, as overstimulation can quickly lead to exhaustion. Intuitive introverts, particularly those with INFJ or INTJ personality types, often find themselves drawn to spirituality. This isn't just about religious belief, but about a deep understanding of the unseen forces at play in the universe. They sense connections beyond the physical world, picking up on emotions, energies, and even unspoken thoughts. Many develop a keen interest in spiritual growth, seeking wisdom from meditation, philosophy, and introspection. This connection to the spiritual realm often leads intuitive introverts to spend a great deal of time in solitude, not because they dislike people, but because they need space to process the overwhelming amount of information they absorb. Alone time is not loneliness. It is necessary for recalibrating their energy and gaining clarity. Large social gatherings, busy streets, and noisy environments can be overwhelming for intuitive introverts. Unlike extroverts, who thrive on external stimulation, intuitive introverts absorb the emotions and energies of those around them, often without realizing it. This can lead to mental and emotional exhaustion, requiring extended periods of solitude to recover. Being in a crowd means exposure to countless emotions at once, some joyful, some anxious, and others filled with unspoken pain. The intuitive introvert picks up on all of it. Without proper energy management, this can lead to burnout, emotional fatigue, or even unexplained mood shifts. To navigate these challenges, intuitive introverts must develop energy protection techniques such as grounding exercises, setting boundaries, and practicing mindfulness. Shielding their energy is essential to maintaining inner peace in a world that can sometimes feel chaotic. Recognizing that being an intuitive introvert is a gift rather than a limitation is crucial. It allows for deeper connections, an enhanced understanding of the world, and a greater ability to guide others through wisdom and insight. Developing self-awareness and spiritual practices can help intuitive introverts harness their abilities without feeling overwhelmed. One of the best ways to embrace this trait is through journaling, meditation, or engaging in activities that provide a sense of peace and alignment. Connecting with like-minded individuals who understand this sensitivity can also be incredibly beneficial. Subscribe to our channel and join a community that understands the power of energy and intuition. Here, we explore how to navigate overwhelming environments, protect your energy, and embrace your sensitivity as a gift. Remember, your intuition is a strength. Learn to harness it and thrive. Five, communication challenges. More than 64% of individuals admit they struggle to express their deep thoughts in everyday conversations. Rather than engaging in surface-level discussions, they often find comfort in writing or intimate one-on-one dialogues where they can fully explore and articulate their ideas. This is a common trait among intuitive introverts, particularly those who identify with the INFJ and INTJ personality types. A 30-year-old interviewee shared their experience, saying, "I often hesitate before speaking because I feel like my ideas are too complex for a quick response. Sometimes I just stay quiet because I don't want to be misunderstood." This hesitation is not a sign of insecurity, but rather a deep awareness of the complexity of their thoughts. They are not ones to speak just for the sake of speaking. Instead, they carefully process information, ensuring their words hold meaning. However, this tendency can sometimes lead to a sense of isolation. Intuitive introverts often feel that their way of thinking does not align with conventional social norms. While others engage effortlessly in small talk, they crave depth, meaning, and conversations that ignite intellectual and spiritual awakening. Their minds are constantly analyzing, questioning, and seeking truth, which can make them feel disconnected in casual social settings. If you find yourself struggling to express your deepest thoughts in conversations, know that you are not alone. This unique way of thinking is a gift. It allows you to see beyond the obvious, to understand life on a profound level, and to connect deeply with those who truly resonate with your energy. Instead of forcing yourself into social molds that do not align with who you are, embrace the power of your introspective nature. Seek out environments and relationships where depth is valued over mere social pleasantries. The world needs intuitive thinkers, individuals who challenge the status quo and offer perspectives that inspire transformation. Your voice matters, even if it takes time to find the right words. Trust that those who are meant to understand you will, and more importantly, trust in the wisdom that comes with being an intuitive introvert. Comment below. I express my thoughts with confidence if you're ready to communicate with clarity and ease. Let's break through these challenges together. 6. Struggles with social interaction. Did you know that nearly 3 out of 4 intuitive introverts find small talk not just tedious, but downright exhausting? If you often feel drained by surface-level conversations, you're not alone. Many intuitive introverts, especially those with INFJ or INTJ personality types, thrive on deep, thought-provoking discussions rather than casual chatter about the weather or the latest sports scores. As one introspective thinker put it, "I don't enjoy casual conversations about the weather or sports. I crave discussions about philosophy, psychology, and the mysteries of the universe, but not everyone is interested in that." If this resonates with you, it's because intuitive introverts yearn for meaningful exchanges that stimulate their minds and nourish their souls. They seek depth, authenticity, and truth conversations that explore life's profound mysteries, not just fleeting, trivial details. This is why intuitive introverts are highly selective about their relationships. They are not interested in merely having acquaintances. They want authentic connections that bring true spiritual and intellectual fulfillment. They would rather have one deep, meaningful friendship than a dozen shallow interactions that leave them feeling empty. The philosopher Socrates once said, "Strong minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Weak minds discuss people." This perfectly encapsulates the mindset of an intuitive introvert, someone who would rather explore the depths of existence than engage in gossip or idle talk. But why do small talk and shallow interactions feel so exhausting? The answer lies in the way intuitive introverts process information. Their minds are always working beneath the surface, analyzing and contemplating abstract concepts. They don't just listen to words. They listen for meaning, patterns, and underlying truths. When conversations remain on the surface level, their minds feel understimulated, leading to mental fatigue and disinterest. They may smile politely and nod, but inside, they are yearning for something more profound. For intuitive introverts, engaging in deep conversation is not just a preference. It's a necessity for their spiritual and intellectual well-being. They are drawn to discussions about human nature, the universe, consciousness, and personal growth. They may find themselves captivated by books on psychology, spirituality, and philosophy, always seeking to expand their understanding of the world. Carl Jung, a pioneer in analytical psychology, once said, "Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens." This deeply aligns with the intuitive introvert's journeying an inward search for meaning that ultimately shapes their outer reality. But being an intuitive introvert can also come with challenges. Because they often struggle to find like-minded individuals who share their love for deep conversation, they may feel isolated or misunderstood. They may even question whether something is wrong with them for not enjoying the types of social interactions that seem so natural to others. The truth is, there is nothing wrong with them at all. Their depth is a gift, and when they find the right people, those who value meaningful conversations as much as they do, they experience a profound sense of connection and belonging. So, if you ever feel like an outsider in a world that thrives on small talk, remember that your craving for depth is a sign of your unique perspective and inner wisdom. You are not alone. There are others out there who share your thirst for knowledge, your passion for meaningful conversation, and your spiritual curiosity. The key is to be patient and intentional in your search for authentic connections. Embrace your depth, honor your need for meaningful discussions, and never settle for surface-level conversations that leave you feeling empty. After all, the most beautiful connections in life are those that touch the soul and expand the mind. As the great poet Rumi once said, "Be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop. Let go of relationships that drain you and seek those that inspire and uplift you. Your depth is your strength. Cherish it." If you're still here, drop a comment saying, "I crave depth" below. Your feedback helps us connect with like-minded souls who seek meaningful conversations. 7. Need for balance. A recent study found that the vast majority of 85% of people recognize the importance of solitude in their lives, acknowledging that time alone helps them recharge. However, nearly half, 48%, admitted that excessive isolation can sometimes lead to feelings of disconnection. One participant put it beautifully, "I love being alone because it helps me reflect and recharge. But if I spend too much time alone, I start feeling like an outsider in the world." This perfectly captures the paradox that intuitive introverts experience. On one hand, solitude is their sanctuary. It allows them to process deep thoughts, engage in spiritual reflection, and find clarity in the chaos of life. Yet, too much withdrawal can make them feel like they are merely observing life rather than truly living it. What sets intuitive introverts apart is not just their preference for alone time, but their profound sensitivity to energies, emotions, and underlying meanings. Their intuition operates like an internal compass, guiding them through life with an almost mystical sense of knowing. They can walk into a room and immediately sense its atmosphere, feel the unspoken emotions of those around them, and pick up on patterns in human behavior that others might never notice. But this heightened awareness comes at a cost. Absorbing so much information, both seen and unseen, can be mentally and emotionally draining. That's why intuitive introverts often seek solitude not just for preference, but for survival. It's in these quiet moments that they process, recalibrate, and regain their spiritual equilibrium. For intuitive introverts, solitude is essential, but connection is just as important. The key lies in quality over quantity when it comes to social interactions. Unlike extroverts, who may thrive in large social gatherings, intuitive introverts seek depth over breadth. They don't need many relationships. They need meaningful ones, connections that feed the soul rather than drain it. Instead of forcing themselves into environments that feel unnatural, intuitive introverts should focus on cultivating relationships that align with their values and spiritual depth. This could mean engaging in deep conversations with like-minded individuals, joining spiritual or philosophical communities, or simply maintaining a few close friendships that provide emotional nourishment. Spirituality plays a significant role in the lives of intuitive introverts. Whether they follow a particular faith, explore universal consciousness, or practice mindfulness, their inner world is deeply connected to something greater than themselves. Many find that meditation, prayer, or journaling enhances their ability to process emotions and maintain clarity in a noisy world. However, the challenge lies in bridging the gap between their rich inner world and the external reality they navigate daily. Too much time and reflection, without real-world application, can lead to a sense of detachment from life. The spiritual journey of an intuitive introvert is not just about understanding the mysteries of existence. It is about embodying wisdom in everyday interactions, using intuition to guide actions, and allowing their inner light to shine outward. Understanding yourself as an intuitive introvert is not about changing who you are. It's about embracing your nature while ensuring that it serves you rather than isolates you. If you find yourself retreating too much, consider structured ways to stay engaged. This might involve setting small social goals, joining discussions that align with your interests, or scheduling time for meaningful interactions. 8. Embracing the gift of intuition. A remarkable 79% of survey participants recognize that, despite the struggles that come with it, their intuition is a profound gift. They've come to understand that this inner knowing isn't just a random feeling. It's a powerful tool that guides them through life, relationships, and career choices. When the world feels overwhelming, when logical reasoning falls short, and when uncertainty clouds their path, their intuition becomes the quiet but unwavering compass leading them forward. For intuitive introverts, especially those with INFJ and INTJ personality types, the journey is often complex. The world values extroversion, quick decision-making, and tangible evidence, yet, as an intuitive introvert, your strength lies in deep reflection, foresight, and a profound connection to unseen truths. This can make you feel like an outsider at times, misunderstood by those who don't perceive life the way you do. But make no mistake, your ability to sense, analyze, and predict outcomes is a rare and invaluable asset. One respondent in the study shared, "Being an intuitive introvert isn't easy, but I've learned to embrace it. My intuition helps me navigate life in a way that feels true to who I am. This powerful statement echoes the experience of many intuitive introverts who, despite facing moments of doubt, have chosen to trust their inner wisdom rather than suppress it. And this is key. Trusting your intuition is not about rejecting logic or external advice, but about honoring the deep knowing within you that aligns with your highest truth. If you are an intuitive introvert, you likely experience moments where you just know something before any facts or proof emerge. You might sense the outcome of situations before they unfold, feel the emotions of those around you without them saying a word, or understand unspoken dynamics in relationships. This is not mere imagination. It's a heightened form of awareness that allows you to see beyond the surface. However, this ability comes with challenges. You may struggle with overanalyzing, feeling emotionally drained in social settings, or second-guessing yourself because others don't see what you see. The modern world thrives on external validation, yet as an intuitive introvert, your greatest clarity often comes from inner reflection and solitude. Learning to balance your insights with practical action is essential to fully harnessing your potential. Your intuition is deeply linked to your spiritual awakening. As you become more in tune with your inner self, you realize that intuition is more than a mental process. It's a spiritual guide. It connects you to universal wisdom, helping you make decisions that align with your soul's purpose. Many intuitive introverts find that as they grow spiritually, their ability to perceive truths beyond the obvious strengthens. This is not a coincidence. It's an invitation to trust your journey and embrace the wisdom that has always been within you. If you found this insight valuable, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss powerful content like this. Trust your intuition. It's your greatest guide. Comment below, "I embrace my intuition and trust its wisdom." Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery. If you resonate with the traits of an intuitive introvert, embrace your unique strengths and let them guide you on your spiritual path. Remember, understanding yourself is the first step to unlocking your true potential. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Spiritual Wisdom. And be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos on personal growth, spirituality, and deep self-awareness. Until next time, keep shining your light and embracing your inner wisdom.